Good morning. Welcome back to Pastor's Morning Walk. It's another beautiful morning here in North Carolina, and we just enjoyed chapel. I preached from Malachi chapter 1 regarding giving our best to God, and that was what the children of Israel were not doing in that day. They were failing in their offerings, not giving to God their heart, which is their best thing. It's our best thing is our heart. It's from it, as the Proverbs say, come all the issues of life. In withholding a heart from God, we withhold, in principle, everything. And you could tell these weren't giving their heart to God because they spoke of the worship of God, saying, what a weariness it is. They were bored with God's worship. They snuffed at it, showing contempt for it. They showed their hatred not only of God's worship, but of God himself. And I exhorted the children to see that God himself, being the greatest and the best, deserves from us our greatest and our best. What a sadness that we would treat God as worthy of less than the best. That we would deal with him in a way we wouldn't dare deal with men who would receive polluted offerings from us with an appropriate disgust and say, what are you thinking? Why? And yet Christians, at least professed Christians, give to God just the little snatches, the little dregs of their time, their attention, their heart, their money. This is shameful. God is worthy of far more. I read this morning myself in Matthew chapter 5. I always love returning to the Sermon on the Mount. It's a sermon that's widely abused, and I am continually puzzled since I've been converted from being a liberal at how liberals abuse this Sermon on the Mount, treating it as some sort of soft, effeminate sermon that supports them in their liberalism, when manifestly it's quite the opposite. How antinomians abuse it, as if it teaches them that Christ has relaxed the law, when clearly he says the exact opposite, that he's come not to remove one jot or tittle from the law. And in that phrase, how about righteousness? Saying that their righteousness must exceed the scribes, that of the scribes and the Pharisees, if they would enter the kingdom. That is routinely abused by antinomians, saying he's talking there about justification. We must have a perfect righteous standing before God and imputed righteousness. Well, that's true, but that's not taught there in that text. It's clear from the context. It's about the life. That's the thrust, the aim of the entire sermon, how you ought to live before God. And the point is if you don't have a sincere righteousness, not an absolute perfect righteousness, which is impossible in this age, not a sinlessness, but a sincerity and perfection in that respect, a perfect heart, a heart that's true, and a life that flows from that perfect heart that is true and faithful and godly. If you don't have that, you won't go to heaven. No holiness, no heaven. That's exactly what Hebrews 12:14 says, that we're to seek holiness without which no man will see the Lord. And that's the teaching of the Savior in Matthew 5. So it's puzzling and strange and quite evil how people abuse the Sermon on the Mount. But what is true is that to the Christian, the Sermon on the Mount is very sweet and encouraging, and one of the sweetnesses of it is how he begins with blessing. All the Beatitudes, as they're called, the blessings pronounced upon those who serve God faithfully and from their hearts. Blessed, for example, are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And this should encourage you, sincere Christian, you who do have a perfect heart before God, that God sees and he's pleased. And it struck me this morning how easy it is, so to speak, to please God. He's willing to be pleased. He is not withholding his pleasure. He is not stingy with his blessing. He actually loves to bless and loves to tell his people of his blessing and to pronounce his pleasure upon them. How do you make God happy? How do you please him? It's by being godly. And if you do, he will be pleased. And so, I exhort you this morning to please God. And if you do, he will be pleased with you. He will bless you. May he indeed bless you today.